On this episode of System Integrators Weekly, to help you find that perfect gift, we're looking at a lot of systems starting at around $1,100 to $1,500, $1,900, and all the way up to $2,500. All that and more on this episode of System Integrators Weekly. Let's go, nerds! This episode of System Integrators Weekly is sponsored by CDKdeals. CDKdeals is an online marketplace that specializes in discounted, genuine Microsoft licenses and game keys for several different platforms.
For the month of November, my viewers are getting the biggest discount of the year of 35% off with code BRAY25. That's Windows 10 Pro for only $13.60.
Let's get a Windows key. We'll opt for Windows 10 Pro for the enhanced security features. CDKdeals offers an OEM license for a fraction of the price of a retail key. The difference with an OEM key is that you can only use it on one system, but that should be all you need. You will need to make sure you either have Windows 10 Pro already installed or you perform a fresh installation, since OEM keys cannot be used to upgrade from Windows 10 Home if that's what you have installed currently. Here I use code BRAY25 to get 35% off. Now my copy of Windows is only $13.60. Pay with your method of choice, and once the payment goes through, click View Keys/Codes. Click Get the Key and copy it. Then just go to your Windows search, type in ACT, there it is. Click Activation Settings. My Windows install was already activated, so I'll be replacing that key, but yours should just say Activate Windows. Paste in the key, click Next, and activate, and you're done. Thank you, CDKdeals, for continuing to support the channel. Hello everyone, I'm Brayathorn. Welcome to System Integrators Weekly, where we feel a little off. Something feels weird. Something a little weird going on here. I don't know what it is. It's, where's my desk pad? Where'd my mouse pad go? Well, I mean, I can't just have a keyboard and mouse directly on a table. That would be ridiculous. I got it right here, hold on. Let's try this one out. It says Artesian builds custom mouse pads. Let's see what we got here. Well, would you look at that? Oh yeah, they're shipping, and they're awesome. This is the custom RGB Let's Go Nerds desk mat, available at Artesian builds /mouse pads /Brayathorn. I think that's the URL. But yeah, they're shipping. You can get them with or without RGB. I actually asked for gray stitching here, so it's got extra stitching on the edge to avoid fraying. It's got a rubberized underside there. The feel is super smooth. The colors are freaking beautiful, and I freaking love them. And you can get them with that RGB as well, which looks a little something like this picture right here. Yeah, just thought I'd mention that. They are shipping out now. If you've already ordered one, it's on its way, very likely. And if you haven't, it could be. That is up to you. Could not have been happier. Thank you, Artesian Builds, thank you, Noah, for working with me on these, because they're awesome. Right there on the front page of the mouse pads page for artesianbuilds.com. Go check it out. Now, shilling aside, there is new merch news for you guys, but I'm gonna save that for the end of the video. So if you wanna know where the old merch store gone, it's gone. Because that was Streamlabs, and no, Streamlabs, boo, Streamlabs. So now we have it elsewhere, and I'm excited to tell you guys about Team Excluded and me joining them, and how they are they're a competitive gaming team and lifestyle brand supporting content creators, and I'm excited to tell you how I joined them. And now my merch store is there at teamexcluded.com/Brayathorn. And I'm really psyched to tell you about how the quality of the merch is even better than it was before. And I just told you, didn't I? I just told you all the stuff that I'm excited to tell you. That's how excited I was to tell you. More on that later, whatever. Aside from all that, what we're here to do today is, I mentioned this in the last video, time is running out. I mean, quickly, by the minute. There are deadlines on these sites for system integrators where you can get your pre-built gaming PCs with GPUs and CPUs and just all kinds of parts that you need that maybe you have trouble getting right now. Well, you can just buy them all in a system that's all put together already. And that's what we do. And basically, system integrators are gonna save Christmas, and everything's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be a great hallmark moment for everyone. What I'm gonna do in this video is we're gonna look at several different price points. I've done this before. So what you need to do, if you don't wanna go through all the talky, go down to the timestamps in the description, find your budget, and go to that section. But you might find that there's something that suits you in one of the other budgets. So if you wanna help me out a bit and just watch the whole video, that'd be super cool. Maybe throw a like down there. Maybe even subscribe if you want. Cliche to say all that stuff, but you know what? It's what is allowing me to do this, and it's what allows YouTube to know that they should suggest this potentially very helpful information to more people out there just trying to wade through all of the nonsense to find quality systems for their loved ones or themselves. So what we're gonna do is we're going to look at each price point and compare systems from 3 or 4 different system integrators at that price point and see who has the best option. Now, if they sell out of those, it's actually fine because you'll have other options in that price point. Whether one is better than the other doesn't matter. It's availability and pricing that matters. Now, speaking of which, that's a great segue into our disclaimers. There you go. What I'm gonna show you here was filmed for December 12th, 2021. That's 12/12/21. If you're watching this after that, then the pricing and availability will likely change. It changes very quickly. So don't worry. If you don't find what you want, if it's sold out, we're gonna look at a lot of options today that will ship before Christmas in the continental US. Other shipping may be a little later, but you know, I don't know. The whole point of this video is to help you find what you want, help you choose, help you decide what is right for you. If you watch the whole video and you're still like, I don't know what's right for me, come to the stream. Come and talk to me there. Because the second disclaimer thing also is that I'm gonna express a few opinions and you might disagree. The stream is a great place to go to if you wanna disagree with me there, or maybe ask me a few questions, or get a one-on-one session of me helping you out, because I go one-on-one, one by one, through all the viewers that join the queue, helping them find their own pre-built gaming PCs or custom PCs tailored to their needs and budgets. I also do consultations, which I'm going to be doing a special on consultations. If you want a one-on-one consultation that is not on stream, which is twitch.tv/Brayathorn, by the way, every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, that's when I stream. If you want a one-on-one that's not then and not stream, where I get distracted very easily, DM me on Discord. If you DM me on Twitter or Instagram and I didn't answer, it's because I have never told you guys to DM me there. Join the Discord. The link is in the description below, because if you join the Discord, you can also just ask your questions in the Tech Questions channel. And it's a great place to go to get information on stuff like that. If you don't have a Discord, it's free. You can just have an account for free and just use it for the Swarm Discord if you want, because we're also gonna do a giveaway there very soon. So the 3 main sites we're going to be looking at are going to be, guess the first 2, I'm sure you can. Third, probably not, okay? This is a dumb game and I'm gonna stop the game right now. It's iBUYPOWER and CyberPower PC, because of their great practice of usually having instant ship, already built systems ready to go. That is what is necessary right now. If you didn't take my advice, my very dramatic advice from the last video, which I'll play right here, get your shopping done early. Don't save it for the last minute. Yes, very dramatic. Then you're still okay, but you're really coming up to your last chance to do this. Most of these sites will give you until Friday to guarantee shipping by Christmas Eve. So this is it. Like I don't recommend you go to Best Buy and buy a computer there. I don't recommend you go to Walmart and buy a PC there if the person you're trying to buy that big fancy gift for wants a gaming PC. That's not good. This is better. This is better right here, okay? So we're gonna be looking at iBUYPOWER and CyberPower PC for that reason. But there's a third one that we're looking at that I have almost never included in these videos. I've done it once, maybe twice, 3 times actually, but that's gonna be Skytech gaming PCs. Now, why would I be including Skytech? Well, there's actually a very specific reason why. 2 of them actually. The first is that they have a guaranteed delivery time of by Christmas Eve for their pre-built gaming PCs if you order by the 17th, this Friday. The other thing is that you'll find that a lot of their systems on Amazon, Newegg, all of that, those sites. And I want to show you that you will be better off purchasing directly from the system integrator. That is always what I recommend, buying directly from the system integrator. It's a better experience. The packaging is usually better. You work directly with the system integrator because things do happen. The shipping industry sucks right now. They're overworked, understaffed, and things tend to get kicked around a bit. And if something does happen in shipping, you want to be dealing with the system integrator, okay? More on that later. First, let's take a look at a budget of anywhere from $1,100 to $1,300 or so. We're going to iBUYPOWER.com and the ready systems, which you see same day ready system right there on the top. Okay, we're gonna go to CyberPower PC, and on the very top, you'll see instant ship systems pop up right there. Click on that, and you'll get this listing right here, okay? And then under Skytech, you wanna go to Prebuilt Gaming PCs, because as you can see, you'll see a thing where it says holiday delivery estimate. So starting it off, we're gonna look at the iBUYPOWER system, which unfortunately comes with Windows 11. Not a huge deal at this point, but not great either. But for $1,200, what do you get? You get an Intel Core i5 11400F, which is a decent budget gaming CPU. On the lower end chipset B560M, but it has AC Wi-Fi, and a GTX 1660 Ti. 1660 Ti is pretty much top tier for budget GPUs, budget graphics cards. Because 1080p gaming is not a problem for this card as long as you manage your expectations with your graphical settings and you don't put them on ultra, because you just shouldn't do that. And it also has the NVENC encoder, which is what you use to run a stream, to encode video. It's fantastic, and it's the same one that they put into the 3090. So keep that in mind. It's a great GPU. 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. That's dual channel memory. So you actually have 2 sticks of memory, and a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD. That's a lot of letters and numbers, but that's basically the faster form factor for storage that there is right now. The airflow isn't great, but you know what? For the overall TDP of the system with the CPU and GPU, it's not going to put out a ton of heat. So let's see who has a good competitor for this. CyberPower PC, right here. This is actually $50 cheaper. It comes with the same processor, 11400F, but this one actually comes with an RTX 2060, which is a solid step up in performance over the 1660 Ti. There are some caveats to this though. You get half the storage, so it'll be fine initially to put Windows and a couple of games on there, but once you start putting a larger game library, like a larger Steam library on there, you're gonna run out of space really quickly. So you should get yourself something like this to plug into the motherboard and put into the case, and then you have more storage. And you also have single channel memory, and it's also slower than the memory that comes with the iBUYPOWER system. iBUYPOWER system has 3200 megahertz memory. This has 3000. You can upgrade that with an identical stick of memory with the same specs, but I would just recommend getting a, $70 kit of DDR4 3600 megahertz and putting that in there. But yeah, you get a lot of RGB fans in this. You actually get kind of the same stock Intel cooler, very similar. Very meh. It's actually the literal stock Intel cooler. But you get better airflow in this because it has a mesh front. So those are 2 good options with some trade-offs there. Now, if we take a look at Skytech, they have one that has the same processor, also has a 1660 Super, and you get the Intel stock cooler as well. This one gets a 500 gig SSD, as it says, but if we actually take a look in here, yes, it is an actual SSD like this. You can tell by the SATA cable that's right there, plugged into the motherboard, and it looks like it's actually being pulled. So the cable management's a bit tight in their display photo. Skytech, take a look at that, and don't cable manage so tight. But there was another one. This one is $13.99. So yes, we are stepping up in price here. However, you get the same processor. However, this comes with a 6600 XT. So much more powerful and also current gen 6000 series AMD GPU. Plus, this is a higher airflow case than the Shadow 3.0 that was right here, and also both the iBUYPOWER and CyberPower PC systems. You get a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. This is pretty much what comes with the iBUYPOWER system. And one benefit is that you get Windows 10. It's great because you can upgrade to Windows 11 down the line once it's more stable and all that, and once you've got worked the kinks out of it and everything. Now that we've gone about a couple $100 up, and I've shown you what you can get for that, let's go a little higher than that, about $150 higher, and start seeing what we can get at different system integrators for around $1,500 or more. And so with this system, we've done a couple of things. We finally moved away from the 11400F processor from Intel and moved to a 5600X, which is a Ryzen Zen 3 5000 series processor. 5600X is still absolutely great for gaming. You also moved to a 30 series NVIDIA GPU with the 3060. There you go. And also 16 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz. I would prefer 3600 megahertz, but you know what? It's okay. This will work just fine. Plus, look at this case. Look at this mesh, full on, proper mesh. Finally, they also give you a liquid cooler rather than going with a stock Intel cooler, which here you have the equivalent pretty much of a stock Intel cooler. But here you finally go to some liquid cooling. Now, 120 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler is okay. It's fine. It's not a huge step up from a good tower cooler. It's actually probably a lateral move from a tower cooler, but this is easier for them to ship than a tower cooler. Tower cooler can break off if they don't pack it very carefully. And the card, the GeForce RTX 3060, is going to have all the latest tech that NVIDIA put out, although it is their entry-level card until they come out with the 3050. The 3060 is still quite capable. However, this does not beat the venerated iBUYPOWER Gaming Ready Slherg 207, which does come with Windows 11 and a mostly glass front panel here with just side venting. But you can just pull off that front panel. Behind the front panel is a Behind the front panel is a magnetic mesh air filter, dust filter over the fans, and you can just play it like that. Seriously. So the airflow is the only problem if you want it to continue to look as pretty as that. If you don't mind it being without the glass on the front, you're fine. Same 5600X, B550 Pro motherboard. Let's compare that here. Motherboard just says B550. It doesn't tell us which one, although it shows an ASUS ROG Strix motherboard. I don't feel like that's the one you're gonna get. But no, B550 Pro motherboard. So it does not seem to come with wireless. So you're gonna want some kind of Wi-Fi adapter, or what I recommend is to just connect it with Ethernet. Even if you have to run a 100-foot Ethernet cable, there are $18 Ethernet cables that are 100 feet for Cat 6 on Amazon with the little clips that you can use to attach it to the wall and go over door frames and do whatever you want to get it out of the way so you don't trip over it. But the big upsell here, with this being $50 more, for that $50 you get an RTX 3060 Ti. Now the Ti, although it is just 2 letters for $50, you're also getting a generous boost in performance over the 3060. 3060 Ti is quite a bit faster. As a matter of fact, it tends to be faster than the previous generation 2080 Super, which many people still proudly have in their systems, and they're running awesome. But yeah, 16 gigs DDR4, 3200 megahertz, a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, and 120 millimeter RGB liquid cooler. Both of these have very similar specifications, although you know exactly what motherboard you're getting with this. And it has a way better GPU for $50. If this is your price cap right here, $1,600, stick with this. And we just took $50 off. So now it's the same price as a Skytech system. Let's go ahead and move on up the pricing here. Let's take a look. Looking at the Instant Ship GM99600 from CyberPower PC, this one is going to come with a 5800X and a 3060 Ti. Okay, so same GPU, and believe me, the 3060 Ti is well placed to do 1440p gaming at high refresh rates, 1080p gaming at very high refresh rates, and streaming, all that stuff because of NVENC and all that. So yeah, still great. And plus you get the B550. It's a micro ATX, but it does have Wi-Fi included. 800 watt power supply, 80 plus gold certified, and a 1 terabyte NVMe M.2 SSD. Now, normally I would have said this is the deal. This is a great deal. Go for this, and especially if you're trying to do anything like streaming. Even if the memory is on the lower end, where it's 3000 megahertz and it's also 16 gigs, and you want probably to move up to 32 if you're going to be doing streaming because of all the different things you run at once. And normally my thing would be to say, get this one here. However, there are two systems that we need to consider before I can actually recommend that. We need to consider this one. For $1849, $50 more, on the same website, you can actually get a 12600K and a 3060 Ti. That is 12th gen Intel, which is faster and better at multitasking than, in fact, this thing was supposed to compete with the 5600X, but it actually gives a 5800X a run for its money, and then it outruns it. And then it takes that money and then it spends it on, you know, snacks or whatever. I don't know. It's really powerful. Now, there are caveats to using 12th gen Intel, and we need to be clear about this. There's still a few games that won't run on it because of DRM issues. That's because it, you know, mistakenly sees the E-cores as a separate system, and DRM doesn't like that. Secondly, if you were going to be building yourself a 12600K, if we were in one of those magical parallel universes where GPUs were available and you could build your own system, you'd have to decide between DDR4 and DDR5. Now, this takes that choice out of your hands, which is good. DDR5 is nice, but it's too new. It needs to mature some more before it actually presents a compelling value for price to performance. In fact, it's being scalped just as hard as GPUs are. Go on eBay and look up DDR5. It's horrifying. And unfortunately, it is the same slow 3000 megahertz DDR4, 16 gigs, 8x2. Great thing about a DDR4 based 12th gen Intel system is that DDR4 is plentiful and a great value for performance. So you can easily, you know, upgrade yourself with a nice kit of 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 or something like that for anywhere between 80 to 150 bucks. Cuddles, you're gonna need to cut out this CyberPower PC here. Say, at least keep in the part, start with me talking about it just a bit, and then cut to this. However, CyberPower PC is apparently on Christmas vacation already, because even though it says add to cart as if it was available, we go to add to cart and it's just, let's hit add to cart for this one here. And it is empty because this one's not available, apparently. Awesome, cool. There it is. Now they say you can save 5% on any system over $1,000 by putting in code no rush. Don't do that. That may disqualify you from getting the system before Christmas, because they think then you're willing to just get it, you know, 3 or 4 weeks later, because you're not in a rush. You'd rather save 5%. But I don't know what the code is supposed to mean, but MEHDI, as you see right there, takes 5% off systems over $12.99. It saves you $92, $17.56. So let's keep that price in mind, $17.50, just about. Let's take a look at this one though. This one is a better deal and more powerful. There you go. Now, why is that? I guess I should explain. Instead of a 12600K F, you get a 12700K F. So that is 8 cores rather than 6 performance cores. And I should stipulate performance cores. Both of them have 4 efficiency cores that handle background tasks. However, this one gets 2 extra performance cores, each of them dual threaded, all of that. So yeah, that means that it actually has 8 3.6 gigahertz cores and 4 2.7 gigahertz cores. Plus there's more L3 cache as well. But yeah, basically this thing is an absolute beast. And unless you are a professional, where you have you're building a professional video editing rig or something like that, you really don't need a 12900K. This is the play. This is the move right here, 12700K. It has actually faster memory, DDR4 3200 megahertz, 16 gigs of it, a 1 terabyte M.2, and a 3060 Ti. All on a Z690 motherboard, and a 600 watt power supply is the minimum that NVIDIA recommends for the 3060 Ti. You may want to consider upgrading that a little later, because that 12700KF can be a power hog. So yeah, there is that to consider, but for now it would be fine. So if your budget is in this range, and you'll basically get this for $1850, which would make it $100 more than the other. faster memory and a way faster processor, although they're still pretty comparable because they're both 12th gen Intel. It's a good step up. Now, that sort of makes this system seem a bit silly, but let's talk about it. This is when we're starting to really go up in price, and we went from $1850 all the way up to $22.99. That's actually gonna be $22.49 with the discount. But this one has a 5800X and an Asus Prime X570 Pro ES with Wi-Fi motherboard, so that's actually a higher end X570 motherboard, and a 3070 Ti. So you're looking at 2 steps up over the 3060 Ti. But once you're in this price range, there's one that I want you to consider. And this is one that I talked to someone on the stream about. It's a bit of a harder sell though. This is the Prism 3, and it fills me with conflicted emotions. The reason is, it has a processor that is 2 generations old, but it's also still a 10900K. For gaming, it's still a beast for gaming. Okay, now once you start to get into video editing, Photoshop, stuff like that, 12th gen leaves it in the dust. Way back there in the dust. It's like a speck on the horizon, okay? But for gaming, it's still very good. It is an absolute fire-breathing beast and it needs a lot of cooling, but this comes with a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. And it also comes in a Lee & Lee knockoff case, which is the Fantex Metallic Gear Neo Cube. 750 watt power supply is enough to power the RTX 3080 that is in the system. Do you know how hard it is to find a 3080? Unless you plan on getting into some 4K gaming. You don't need this for 1440p gaming. The 3060 Ti, 3070 Ti, any of those can do it. But if you really feel like you need to have a 3080, this is one of the only ways to get one that you can get by Christmas. But I do have some issues with this system, and it all comes down to, I'm not sure what that says about Skytech, but they didn't really optimize the airflow in this case. And there's a reason for that. Now, I've seen people debate whether you should use a side ventilation on an O11 dynamic, for which we can pretty much say this is an approximation of an O11 dynamic. Some have said that you can use it for exhaust, and it's better that way. And trust me, I'm a scientist. It's better that way. Well, in my opinion, it is not, and I have reasons for that. You don't want your exhaust to be anywhere other than right up against the ventilation for the exhaust. Right up against it. If there's any space in between where the exhaust fan is and where the ventilation is, that's not necessarily going to exit the system cleanly. It's going to cycle through your system. It's actually beneficial to have an intake that is spaced away from the actual mesh or whatever you have on the side there, because then you can actually have you can have more of a vacuum there that pulls the air in, and there's less turbulence because it's not right up against any mesh. Just take the fans off and move them and flip them around to turn them from being intake to exhaust. It's amazing, right? Still, overall, because of the fact that most people that are trying to get a 3080 right now will spend almost this much on eBay just buying the GPU. Let's actually look at that real quick. You're gonna find a range of prices for 3080s, okay? You need to be careful because some of these will clearly say on there that you're paying for the picture. And these aren't NFTs. You don't want these to be your pictures. You want the actual GPUs, am I right? So there's different deals though, but a lot of these, keep in mind, are gonna be bids. Some of them are gonna be used, some will be new, but some will be or best offer. $1,700 just for the GPU there. $2,100 or best offer just for the GPU. $1,525, 2 bids only, 6 days left. That's gonna go up, it's Christmas time. $1,000, 10 bids. $1,675. A lot of these though sell $2,170 for $2,000 or more once the bids are all in, okay? Okay, now of course, it really sucks to be able to have to look at a website that can send you decent looking systems by Christmas for a decent price and tell you not to buy them. But yeah, don't buy these. This is Maingear, and I mentioned this last time, I wanna reiterate it. But the 3060 Ti system for $1,600 and with the 5600X, 512 gig M.2 and a 1 terabyte hard drive, all that. It's underpowered. It's 100 watts lower than what NVIDIA recommends. Maingear, I don't care if you tested it and it worked fine. The extra 100 watts is meant to be there for potential power spikes, okay? And that's what NVIDIA recommends. And your job as a system integrator is to know that. And in good faith, follow the manufacturer recommendations when you're building a computer for people. I might even be able to overlook this one. 500 watts, it should run well under 500 watts most of the time. 500 watts for a 3070. You're gonna tell me you tested that, stress tested it, and it was fine, and that it will run for years with no problems. Not enough for a 5800X and a 3070. Just as last time, Maingear lost. No, can't recommend them. Now, let's talk about NZXT, because as I said, if they can do it, I'm gonna try to cover it. Their 2021 holiday shipping schedule says if you order by 12/17 with overnight shipping, I'm curious to see how much that is, that you can get an estimated Christmas delivery. So let's try it out. $17.99. This doesn't seem like that great of a deal with a 5600X and a 3070, but they just put a little more money into the, you're gonna get more GPU power out of this, which can be beneficial in some games. It's just, it's not as keen of a deal like it would normally be, plus including the bronze power supply and the 120 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler. So versus this system, that's $43 cheaper, that has a 12600K and a 3060 Ti. Or this system has a 12700KF, 240 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler, 3060 Ti, and 1 terabyte M.2 drive. This one has some similar features, but it has a 5600X and a 3070. Still a fantastic combo for a gaming system, okay? Well, honestly, I can't recommend this system pretty much at that price, considering the specs that you can get from an iBUYPOWER CyberPower PC system with 12th gen Intel. Now, the last thing I wanted to do here, you're going to be tempted, as you're buying a bunch of other stuff from Amazon or Best Buy or whatever, you're gonna be tempted to get systems that are similarly priced to some of these, but I just can't recommend it. Let's go over why that is. You're gonna see some systems here, like here's a Skytech one, right? And it's $1529 with a 10400, it's 10400 and a 3060 Ti, a 1 terabyte SSD, which it does appear to be an M.2 drive, but it doesn't tell you here. AC, Wi-Fi, all that. Well, there's a better system than this with better airflow. It is $50 more. It has a way better processor and has a 3060. Now, it's not a 3060 Ti. This is a better GPU. The problem is, though, let's take a look at who's selling it. So it ships from Amazon.com. It's sold by Amazon.com, not Skytech. You're not buying from Skytech. It's already sold. So it can be beneficial if you want to return something to Amazon, because they do make that easy for you. Generally, things like RMAing, doing an RMA because you've been using it for a while, you have all your files on there, you're not comfortable with backing it up yourself, you want to get your computer back with all your files, you don't send that to Amazon. You just send it to Skytech. And it's hard to say whether that warranty, you don't have a computer company covering your system. The protection plan is through Amazon. However, look at this, Ryzen 5 3600, 3060 Ti, $1,750. For that price, you can get yourself a 12th gen 12600 KF. And it's for instead of a 3600. The pricing is all over the place. The coverage is going to be questionable depending on who you buy it from. Like, let's take a look here. If you look at this system, okay, this is an MSI Aegis R. Okay, 3060 Ti, 11700, not a K. This is a non-K SKU, so it's a locked processor, and it's 11th gen. This was not an efficient or effective gaming processor. It's not great, really. It does have Wi-Fi 6, but it's $1,700, okay? All right, sold by Amazon.com. And you can get the same system, sold by JTech Digital. It has this similar property, look, an RTX 3060, instead of a 3060 Ti for $500 more. So unless you're really savvy with this kind of thing, you might not get the best deal. Even though it seems like, oh, the prices are so much better. No, an 11700 and a 3060 for $2,200. Some of these vendors are raising their prices for Christmas, whereas you'll see system integrators lowering their prices for Christmas. Okay, The thing is, I can't feel comfortable making a blanket statement like that because for some of them, they will be lowering their prices. 11600 KF and a 3060 for $1929. Would you rather get that, or would you rather get a 12600K and a 3060 Ti for $1750, $200 cheaper? Which would you prefer? It's time for me to bring up the comment of the week because it is pertinent to what I'm talking about. And I appreciate this question. I do. Orbitals, a day ago, asked, is iBUYPOWER quality builds? I saw that YouTube with the iBUYPOWER that had 2 million views and had a damaged card insertion spot from no packaging material. Well, what did Steve clearly state? He stated clearly that this was bought from a third-party retailer. In the second video, he said it was Amazon. The first video, he would not say which retailer that was from. I don't know if he had agreed, or there was some kind of a risk to him saying who it would be or what. But they're a big outfit. Like they do fantastic coverage of so many different topics. I'm not a huge fan of their pre-built coverage. It's offering more problems than solutions, you know? And then sort of glorifying the ABS system means that they're supporting Newegg, which is a company that they revealed the predatory practices of. Whether it's a good product or not, I wouldn't send customers there. Whether Gamers Nexus is doing things right or not, clearly they're doing things right, and I love their channel, and Steve is absolutely awesome. But those were purchased from third-party retailer, both of them. Something I have never recommended, not one single time. I don't recommend third-party retailers. I don't recommend OEMs. Now, does that mean you're gonna have a perfect experience with a system integrator? No, there's still things that can happen in shipping. There's still electronics, very complicated electronic components in these systems. You could have a GPU that's DOA. Then you RMA it back and they give you a new one. It's not going to be a perfect experience. But by and large, working directly with the system integrator will be better. These have packing material on the inside. On a custom system, you have to select the option for it, which is next level stupid, but it's there. Anyway, I've been talking to, I've been yammering long enough about this kind of thing, but honestly, these are questions that sometimes need to be asked. And they are repeatedly. So yeah, that's, they are quality builds. I bought one myself and I have videos showing my experience of unboxing it and then the experiences afterwards, getting side panels replaced when I needed to, and all of that. Just go on back. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'll put a link for it just right there. But yeah, thank you Orbitals for the comment. Thank you for watching the channel, and thank you for taking the time to ask important questions. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So that wraps it up for the coverage for this video today. Now let's talk about something real quick. Thank you for hanging out for the whole video. You're the real MVP, and I hope you have the happiest of holidays. So I joined Team Excluded, which is it's almost an ironic name because of how inclusive they are. They're really cool, and their goal is to support content creators. And myself and Blaston have both joined this team, and they're gonna be working with us on some stuff. And 2022 is actually way more exciting because of it. So they're gonna be offering some support to help me keep doing this for you guys. And in return, if they have something that needs reviewing or any kind of tech review, tech content, I'm gonna be providing that for them. I also wanna say that you should check out their merch store as well at teamexcluded.com and my merch store on their site, which is just 3 items. Plus, guess what? We've got the new holiday sticker. Check this out. It is absolutely adorable. And look at him just fell asleep munching on a cookie. There's a bunch of little hidden Easter eggs in this one, and I think you're really gonna enjoy it. And that's gonna be up on the merch store. Sorry it took a while to get this one out. And if you have any questions about anything, join me on stream. Join the Discord first, actually. Or in either order, whichever you prefer. Join the Discord for awesome discussions on tech, anime, food, gaming, all of that good stuff, peripherals, everything. That's linked in the description below. And come and do a stream. That's twitch.tv/Brayathorn every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday around 8 p.m. Central. So I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, until the next one, I'll see you guys next Sunday with more coverage, and it's going to be a little different because It'll be a little too late to order certain things, but we'll see what we can find for those really last minute deals. Until then, take care.